Let's talk about maze and Cual, the M-class second grade comprehension measure. Many teachers ask, my student got a low score. What does that really mean? The purpose of this brief video is to understand what maze or Cual Palabra tells us, why it matters, and how to respond instructionally. Maze isn't about higher level skills like theme or inference. It's about whether students can make sense of text at the most basic level through syntax and semantics. Syntax is the part of grammar that refers to the arrangement and structure of words into sentences. When students understand syntax, they can analyze how words are ordered and related. For example, in the sentence, after Mia hugged her sister, she smiled. Will the student understand who smiled? Was it Mia or her sister? On the other hand, semantics is about what the words and phrases mean. Comprehension depends on vocabulary knowledge and being able to understand context. For example, in the sentence, she was reluctant to go. If a student doesn't know the meaning of reluctant, they might misinterpret it as being excited, not hesitant. Knowledge of syntax and semantics has important instructional implications because they are the foundation of comprehension. Without them, deeper comprehension tasks will always be shaky. Skilled readers use both together because syntax tells how words fit together, while semantics tells what the words mean in context. Sometimes teachers express concern about the maze because they wonder, what about inference, character analysis, theme, and such? When we measure comprehension through syntax and semantics, we're checking whether students can understand the text at a sentence and word level, the nuts and bolts of meaning. When we measure comprehension through inference, character analysis, or theme, we're checking whether students can go beyond the text to deeper thinking. Both are essential, but if students stumble on syntax and semantics, they'll hit a wall with higher level comprehension tasks. Now that we have an understanding of what maze and Cual Palabra measure and why it's important, let's return to the purpose of this video to answer the question, my student earned a low score. Now what? First, we must understand that a low score by itself doesn't tell the whole story. Always triangulate with other data. For example, you should take a look at the scores in some of the other M-class measures. If both oral reading fluency and maze qual palabra are low, the issue is likely fluency, automaticity, or decoding. If oral reading fluency is strong but maze qual palabra is low, the issue is more likely gaps in semantics or syntax. If scores on the other measures look good but maze qual palabra is low, it could be testing conditions such as disengagement or fatigue, so you might consider reassessing. Next, if a student has a low maze score, you should analyze whether the problem is syntax, semantics, or both by returning to the probe detail report. Here is a screenshot of a student who scored below benchmark. The blue boxes show what the student selected. The words with check marks show the correct answer. This item analysis shows us what kind of errors the student made. For example, in when the sun was shining, blank, got hot, the student chose the word so instead of they, which is a syntactic error. In the sentence, and blank, the captain, they chose ran instead of was, which is both a syntax and a semantics issue. The other three errors are syntactic. This helps us see patterns. This student struggles not with big content words, but with small grammar words, the glue that holds sentences together. Pause the video here to analyze the table of errors more closely. Here are a few ideas of activities you might consider. First, if the student struggles with decoding and ORF is low, focus on fluency and phonics. If you see that the child's M-class score in decoding is low, follow the recommendations suggested by M-class. You might also consider fluency strategies such as 1-minute time fluency practice, partner reading, and sight word practice. Second, if the student's ORF score is strong and the maze errors are semantic, Focus on vocabulary with activities such as semantic mapping, morphology, the study of prefixes, suffixes, and roots, context clue practice, shades of meaning, and multiple meaning words. Or third, if the ORF score is strong and errors are syntactic, focus on grammar awareness with activities including sentence combining, sentence scramble, sentence deconstruction, or grammar focus close activities where the blanks are made up of conjunctions, pronouns, or verbs. We hope this brief session gave you a clearer sense of how the maze assessment works and how it can highlight students who may need extra support with the foundations of comprehension, particularly syntax and semantics. With this understanding, you can more confidently interpret maze results, identify the type of support a student may need, and plan instruction that builds stronger, more accurate comprehension. Thank you for joining us.